gone.
Truth, gone. Maybe those two words. How about reading it out loud? How about switching the sentence around? What else could gone and truth mean? How about reading them backwards? What else could they
What else
mean?
could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct, something that's fact. In other words, something that is right. You could then safely assume that gone means left.
Oh yeah, because hey, if you're gone, that means that you left.
After all, after someone left, they were gone.
There you go.
But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right, and gone equals left.
Junpei looked at the bracelet again.
The left and right of the bracelet. These two things sticking out. So if I...
Pressed them in the following order. I mean just right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Because truth, gone, is just 3 times. And then... Huh. One after another, 8 numbers flashed on, then off, of the face of Junpei's bracelet.
Wait, did it just...
He checked one more time to be sure.
One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Huh? Hey, what are those numbers?
Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers, and the order they came in if he said anything.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed towards the bedroom.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the ones he just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bedroom to open it? Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelet had given him.
1 to the right, 4 to the left, and... Oh,
Finished.
bingo. I knew it was for this.
A small, telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up.
Oh, is this some sort of note?
Inside was a piece of paper, like some sort of note. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding.
Let's see.
Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. Oh, I love some facts. The notary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Who had the 2? I don't actually remember. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO, Gentaro Hongo. Cradle Pharmaceuticals Chief of Staff, Nagisa Nijisaki. Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor, Teruaki Kubota. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceuticals, Kagechika Musashido. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. 0. Junpei left the closet.
Huh.
There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, 7, and June. He looked at each one of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest.
Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me?
Come with you.
I want all of you to go to the big hospital room.
Why?
There's something I want to be sure of.
What do you want to be sure of?
I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit.
Wait. Then you're saying...
Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover.
The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice.
Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there.
Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased.
It's 5 o'clock.
We've only got an hour left. It's just like Jimmy Buffett said. It's 5 o'clock
We don't
somewhere.
have a lot of time left. Let's go.
Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom.
Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me.
Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around.
Ace, 7, and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red?
Huh?
Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just...
No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door.
Why?
Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover.
Junpei's implication was clear, and 7 understood perfectly.
Fine.
What about you, Ace? Lotus?
Very well.
Sure.
Quickly, they pressed their palms onto the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel.
I have this idea. I don't think this device responds to a hand placed on it. It instead reacts to a bracelet being brought close. You don't actually need a hand.
Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it, and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared.
I knew it.
Just as Junpei had expected. It was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened, like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut, unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Santa and June had joined them as well.
Huh?
It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity plain on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well.
What was that about?
How should I know?
Clearly, they were all expecting some answers.
Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation.
Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued.
By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something?
What is it?
Do you know who I am?
What? What kind of question?
Just answer it, please. Who am I?
You're Junpei, of course. Who else would you be?
Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa.
What?
Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued.
The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap.
Again, the hair... Does the face, not being able to see faces, apply to the hair?
That's ridiculous. Impossible.
So, you're saying I'm not Santa?
Of course you aren't.
Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa?
So we're saying Santa a lot. It's funny. What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? Would that be another funny screen? Hold on, I'll just take that. What makes you so sure I'm not Santa?
If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital route would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3.
It's 5, right?
Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei.
You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5.
As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone the bright red 5 on his wrist.
Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course, I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was? Ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered. If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. The first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face. Ace, you have prosopagnosia, am I right?
Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth. So did Ace.
Prosopagnosia?
The others looked confused.
What's that? No clue.
Prosopagnosia is...
He heard Lotus begin to explain it to them. How nice of them to skip the explanation. Ace glanced at them, then turned back toward Junpei and sighed.
Very well. I confess. I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this was about? You want to mock me for my disorder?
No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia.
Ace's face tightened. His eyes narrowed.
What do you mean?
Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds.
I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him.
Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Did the Ace Attorney music. Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. Look, they're all on the screen. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath.
That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you...
I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us.
Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued.
Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind.
Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism.
Altruism, huh?
Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear.
You already knew, didn't you?
Man, Junpei gets really, like, smug when he figures out what's going on.
You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room.
What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have?
Really?
Yes, yes.
Pleading was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled the piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it off into the darkness. Thanks for these details, novel screen.
Oh well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia.
Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person?
Yeah, wow, Junpei.
Junpei, they call that prejudice.
No, I am not that stupid.
Then why?
I'm not stupid enough to be prejudiced.
Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's.
What?
Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. If the body wasn't Snake's...
I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake.
Oh God. No. That's impossible.
Ace had started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring.
Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that were the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him.
Wait. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right, and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake?
I can think of at least 2 motives. 1, Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2, Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you. So you...
Hey, hold on a minute.
For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone besides Ace spoke.
What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know?
He's the CEO of the evil drug company.
Why did Snake have a grudge against him?
Same reason.
Look at this.
He handed Santa a small piece of paper.
What's this piece of paper?
Santa squinted at the paper and began to read. Hold on, I don't know how to read.
The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago.
Right, so that's Snake. Snake had the 2.
It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO Gentaro Hongo. What is this?
Slowly, Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's.
It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first class cabin.
Then suddenly,
Give me a break!
Ace of that Kit Kat bar. Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury, tinged with desperation.
That paper is a lie! Someone is trying to frame me!
Me. You said me, right?
Junpei's eyes narrowed and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply. His eyes flicked off of Junpei to something, anything else.
Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals? Or am I mistaken?
It was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face, and as he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide.
Very well. I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see? First of all...
Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position.
Junpei, you're claiming I did this all by myself. Think that over, all right? How could I have killed Snake all by myself?
Not Snake. It was Guy X.
I don't care who it was. You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X.
Nope. You could have.
Huh?
What?
Ace's face was tight, and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close.
Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then, I took this.
Junpei put his hand into his pocket.
No! You couldn't have!
Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled.
I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3.
1, 2, and 9 is 12, yeah,
That's how you
etc.
killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket.
Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish.
If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me. I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, 7?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
7 cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. I like laughing with this like sad expression. Take a screenshot of that. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down, and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Oh my god. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion.
Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the Red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B-deck.
His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter.
My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root.
Yeah, okay, examples. Math. Math.
As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone. It is, I suppose you could say, a game changer. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. In mere moments, I successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. There was also an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had used.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's where the knife, like, came
I
from.
quickly pocketed both of them and left.
Okay, so Ace is the knife guy in the knife ending. I'm pretty sure.
I made my way back to where I was expected to be. That's when I ran into Snake. Well, this guy X, actually. I spotted him ahead of me. He was heading for the large hospital room and hadn't noticed me. The man wearing Snake's clothes arrived at door 3. When he stopped, I walked up behind him and called out.
So who is this guy that's wearing Snake's clothes? I don't actually remember that.
Snake. He turned around.
Oh, well, we could see his face. Whoever that is.
He said nothing. His mouth simply hung half open. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged. It wasn't important. I tend to gloss over little things like that. I was certain that man was Snake. I knew Snake had taken part in the nonary game 9 years ago. Being blind, it made sense that he didn't recognize me immediately upon our first meeting. But why then hadn't Snake said anything to me later? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game. But not once did he attempt to confront me. Did his lack of sight prevent him from fully recognizing who I was? Or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive me? Regardless, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. I had to get rid of him before he took action. With quick thinking, my plan went into motion immediately. I held the number 9 bracelet over the red. I waved my own bracelet in front of the red, and then grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. I threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed.
The man inside the door passed away.
After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang.
Ace's eyes were cold, and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed, then spoke.
Ace, did you kill Clover?
Yes.
Why? Why did you kill her?
She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it.
Found what?
Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere.
Seven and Lotus interrupted.
Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too.
We didn't see anything suspicious.
Yes. I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it.
Huh?
But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
See what?
Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?
Uh-huh. What are you talking about?
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
What? Nothing.
There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the ninth man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone.
No!
Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way.
You aren't going anywhere.
He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard.
You're staying here.
No!
She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run.
Don't you run, little girl.
He was faster.
That was how I killed Clover.
His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show.
You son of a bitch!
Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed.
I admit it. I've lost. I have lost. Completely and utterly. Don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero. Not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. I looked the fool. And it was a trap. Make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room, if he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered other words. Words he'd heard from Clover.
I think Zero is one of us.
Huh?
One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Santa, June, Seven, Lotus.
Zero is one of us? No. Wait. There's one more person. Snake. The man who died in the shower room isn't Snake. That means he's almost certainly still alive. Maybe Snake is Zero. Maybe he made Guy X wear his clothes so that we'd all think he was dead. Where's Snake now? What if he's off somewhere laughing at us? If he is Zero, he must have been lying to us about everything else. Is he watching us?
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving?
He sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw.
What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch! We're gonna leave your ass here to rot!
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong?
You bastard!
7 roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose.
Blindsiding me with a punch, huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman.
He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow.
Well, maybe you'd like another one then.
Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh?
Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. It was a gun. The revolver.
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger.
This is pretty spoilery. I probably won't use this as a thumbnail, but...
I've already killed 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
June, do we need to get into it?
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you.
No, it's fine. This isn't the time. We can...
The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. And with that...
Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then.
Why is it stopping? God damn it! You lied! Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my god, oh my god! There's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him!
Again, I know he was about to explode, but he could have given some more details. You know, instead of just saying him.
I had 4 reasons for killing him. As I said
1.
before, in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. That's the second reason.
3.
Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information.
4.
Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this nonary game was serious, or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
Junpei glared at him.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago?
Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution.
Why? What on earth was it supposed to do?
I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook.
Hey, What's with this gun? Where did he get this?
Why don't you tell her, Santa?
Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace.
On the other side of door 6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? Bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking.
Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind.
Ace laughed, a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying look.
Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Well, where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus.
Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it?
And how do you know that?
Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover.
I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please, don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
As he spoke, Ace began backing toward the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him.
Shit! He's getting away!
But we can't risk it.
Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood, frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit.
Now, Lotus, open the door for me if you would.
He forced Lotus to open it, then turned and addressed them once more.
Goodbye.
Then he stepped through the door. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone.
Damn it!
As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily.
Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way.
Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay?
June's fever had returned, again for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps.
I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus.
She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk.
But...
Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was farther away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile.
Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just gonna let her walk away?
Damn it. You guys go on ahead. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set.
All right. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Hell yeah!
Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running toward the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him.
Let's go!
Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway, their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran. Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the church in the runs that we've done so far. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room.
Where are they?
I don't see them.
You think they already went through?
He reached up to wipe a palm full of sweat from his brow.
Maybe.
Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors.
Let's check the red.
The display panel read vacant. He spun around and headed toward the smaller door. This red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room.
Engaged. It's occupied.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but...
The two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9.
Just then, as they were pondering what to do next, there was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel.
What's that sound?
Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound. In this candle?
Coming from over there.
It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it?
The coffin.
Also, that isn't the immediate first place that your eyes went to.
Yeah.
Let's open it.
How?
By force!
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
I forget. Anyway, we've got to try.
Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled.
Damn it!
See? Didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
Seven pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin.
Right. So unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna open.
The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it had only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do, Junpei wondered.
Was there some sort of clue somewhere?
Whoa, camera movement. They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke.
Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. What about it?
Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too.
Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe.
So?
Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but obviously he would never use the same password for two different things. I mean, who would ever do that?
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
That's ridiculous.
Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Don't you know you should set a different password for everything? Everyone does that, right? Totally.
It'd just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number.
How do you know that? You never know until you try.
Yeah, come on, Japan.
The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
You.
Just now.
Fine.
He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind.
1438 3421.
Quickly, he typed them in. He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside.
Snake!
Hi, Snake.
You? Why?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere?
Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know about, but they had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them.
I see. I believe I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up?
Well... No, there was one thing they kept from him. There was one thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. That Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane.
Yeah.
They decided as much by a look the moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin.
But that still doesn't explain why you were trapped in here.
We've still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to that notary game that was played 9 years ago?
Hey, Snake, do you know anything?
Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating.
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
It seemed as though Snake was, perhaps, not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good.
Oh, come on, just tell us if you know.
I don't know what to tell you. How can I know something I don't?
No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted.
This is bad. We're running out of time.
We need to go after Ace.
However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood, at a loss for what they should do next.
What do we do now?
He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist.
The three of us can't make a digital route of 9.
Yeah, we just get 5.
We're stuck here then.
Oh, hey, I just remembered something.
Seven began patting his pockets, as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything.
What?
What is it?
I found something earlier.
What did you find?
This.
He'd finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them, from the face like a cartoon eye.
0. Zero's bracelet.
What did you say? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet?
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd you get that, Seven?
Where did you get that?
That's what I said. Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth... If he'd been unable to see, he would have noticed Seven look away. Wait.
Clover gave it to me.
Oh, it's Clover's bracelet.
She did?
Yeah.
How did she come by it?
Well, she found it. See, on the other side of door 1, A deck, the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around.
He's lying.
Junpei could tell right away that Seven wasn't telling the truth.
He even told us earlier.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
He probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover.
All right, Junpei. Been nice knowing you.
Wait, what?
7, 2, and 0 equals 9.
Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, all right?
I mean, maybe they should go through, huh? Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the two doors. 7 and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, 7 put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7, 2, and 0 equals 9. Now they just needed to pull the lever, and the door would open.
Huh?
Error.
Why isn't it opening?
Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet.
Maybe it isn't actually 0.
Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
Oh, got it!
Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Okay. Hold on. I mean, should we just go down? Let's just try everybody.
Let's try all 3 of us and the bracelet.
That would be 14. Digital root of
If
5.
this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 4.
Oh.
Didn't open.
Then this bracelet is not 4.
Then,
Junpei continued. Okay. Process of elimination. I mean, Junpei and 7?
let's try me, 7, and the bracelet. If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 6.
They scanned in their bracelets. Oh. 6, huh?
Open.
Yes, so it would seem.
That's the 6th month. Is June. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful, and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought.
That means the bracelet is actually 6.
Mm-hmm.
But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0.
Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water, pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go!
But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last?
Resort?
Junpei 7 and Snake ran full tilt down a long straight hallway. Wait, Snake is with them? They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was Zero. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off.
Oh. Snake's plan had been simple but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it had looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so... how had he done it?
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin.
I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm.
Don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet.
You are correct.
He'd walked through the door easily, without authenticating. He stepped out the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside Seven and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer, and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase.
I think these stairs connect to the bottom deck.
Doesn't look like it's underwater.
They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door.
Let's go through that door.
Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read, "Incinerator."
Incinerator?
Oh my. That doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Yes, please go ahead. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever.
If you pull it, the door ought to open.
Got it.
He pulled the lever down. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back, and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Well, Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door.
What? Why? Why is there another one?
The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake? Oh yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei 7. The three of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
What?
Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Junpei felt his chest tighten.
Oh, they haven't told you?
Told me what?
Clearly not. Normally, I would take some time and enjoy the moment. But I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover.
Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut!
Clover.
I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake.
Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him.
What happened to Clover?
Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile.
Clover died.
The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly.
No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her.
Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei, disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the 9th man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft.
Ace, why are you like this?
My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
I'm going to kill you.
Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
What was that?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now. I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake! Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Don't! Snake! Don't do it!
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair.
Snake! Snake!
Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room toward Junpei, her eyes wide with terror.
Lotus! Hurry! This way!
Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them.
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
He raised the gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door. Quickly now! I don't have time for your shenanigans.
Shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor.
I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you.
Damn it!
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh.
Goodbye.
Then it happened.
Kill you!
Snake stood up.
What? No, that's impossible.
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, 1 step closer to Ace. Then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me.
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Listen to me. I said don't come any closer. Shit. You bastard.
Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. And then his strength was gone, his legs crumbled, and his broken and battered body slid to the floor.
Incineration will begin in 3 minutes.
Finally, you're...
But Snake wasn't done.
I'll kill you.
Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg.
You won't get away.
And the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off me! Let me go, damn you!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together.
What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
Yeah, damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily.
God.
You don't have to die. You could be saved. Just let me go.
Pathetic. Begging for your life.
Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained.
Snake, that's enough! You can stop now!
Yes! He's right, Snake! You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go! Let's get out of here!
You have to come with us. We have to leave together.
Snake turned toward them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled a sad sort of smile.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me.
Shut up! Be quiet!
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
God damn it! Shit! We're out of time! We gotta go!
7 ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow, to clear the lump in his throat.
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind.
Snake! Snake!
Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was 7. Hold on. It's another good screen name. Or, no, screen name, screenshot.
No! I have to help Snake! Snake! Snake!
Sorry.
Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6.
Damn it, I don't get a choice, kid! Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down. Beginning incineration.
Junpei felt 7's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned to mush. 7 scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door.
He's...
There was a small window cut into it. Inside he could see Ace and Snake. You know, a little incinerator window in case you just want to watch stuff burn.
Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this!
I mean, yes you do.
Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero!
Damn.
Zero!
He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there, in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old, and tired, and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door, and the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey, wait! Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going?
He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait, all right?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going.
I saw an elevator on the way here. If I can get it to work, then maybe...
Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it.
Please work.
He pushed it and the door opened.
Yes.
Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Damn it. Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing, but there on the red carpet in the center of the room... June. No, codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Connie. Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning he ran, across the room toward her.
Connie!
He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still.
No. It can't be. It's impossible.
Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hand shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him.
Oh, Connie!
Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up.
Connie, are you alright?
Jumpy?
Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold. Very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Oh man. Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel...
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way.
No way I am going to let you die. I am gonna save you, I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Oh, don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You just gotta hang on, alright, Connie?
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Man, they're making us go through this again. This is the sub-ending, too. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke.
Zero. You son of a bitch! Where are you hiding?
Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
What the hell are you talking about? No. No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Kane. Why?
Stop breaking the fourth wall.
The wrong path?
What?
What are you talking about?
Literally, I can't understand anything you're saying.
I told you! I am not gonna lose! What?
Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before he heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it Zero?
Connie, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. I mean, where's Santa? No one. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere.
Damn it. Where are you? It doesn't matter. I need to get Kane out first.
He didn't want to leave Kane alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel. Oh, I guess she got better.
Connie!
She got better. She left. She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before, and now she was gone.
Oh God. No. No. Where is she? Connie. Connie! Connie! Connie!
His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it.
Huh?
A strange smell, one he'd smelled before.
Wait. This is... white smoke.
9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. And there we go. Man. Ugh, it took a little longer to get to the end than I thought I would. But I wanted to go ahead and get it done in one stream. Let me take a sip. Oh man. That one's intense. Oh. I mean, obviously we have like the knife ending and the axe ending, you know, with everybody getting murdered, you know, those are pretty horrifying. But yeah, that one, man. So yeah, after this, we just have one more path to go down, and that'll get to we'll get to the true ending. We'll finally figure out everything that's going on. We did figure out a lot in this ending. A lot about Ace. We learned maybe too much about him. But next time, we will finally find out the rest. We'll just go ahead and let the credits play out. For the second to last time. Man. I'm also glad that I've gotten to play this, you know, remake version, since I'd only seen the DS version before. The end, or is it? How cheeky. I expect like a little, like, a winky emoji at the end of that, like a eh? Eh? But yeah, I'm glad I've played this version, since I probably need to click. There we go. Got an achievement for the Zero Lost ending. Which I think it used to be called the safe ending. Oh god. Oh, we're getting the opening. Does this usually play? Now it is time. Wait, actually, did we get that because now we can actually, the game will restart from the beginning? Yeah. Yeah, save the info you obtained. Okay, yeah, I think it maybe did show that. Did it show that on the other endings? I don't remember. I don't remember it doing that. Oh! Yeah, because now we have yellow key. Yeah, so that's what you need to get the true ending. I guess the other ones, like the submarine and the knife and the axe, are technically not necessary. There's also a little node here that we're probably not going to see, I guess. Maybe just for funsies, at some point we can go and see. There's a choice that can put you on the submarine path. It's also interesting, the little icon for the submarine ending actually shows the submarine, like, going through, like, being used, but we never actually get to use it. So it's kind of, I guess maybe they were doing that, so if you see that icon, it would be, like, a misdirection. Because, yeah, we're going to be going down this path with the white keys and the white lock, and I think that's going to be taking us to the true ending. Now, this would be, I guess, if we had not gotten the safe ending, or Zero Lost, as it's called, I guess. Which I'm pretty sure in the DS, I think it was just called the safe ending. Or I think they didn't really have names for the endings, so maybe people just, it was like the fan name. But now it's called Zero Lost. If we went down this path, even if we got all the white keys, that would take us to a, like, the partial true ending, where it just kind of, like, cuts off at a certain point. And I think it is... We'll see. We'll see. But it's basically just that the player needs to have the information from the ending we just saw in order for the true ending to, like, make sense, I guess. So you have to do that one first. So yeah, if you, like, accidentally went down the true... Which I think they kind of did, so that if you accidentally figured out the correct path to the true ending, you wouldn't just miss out on the rest of the game. You know? Like, you wouldn't just accidentally get the true ending, like, on your first playthrough. Because they wanted you to play multiple times. It would be very confusing. But yeah. So next time, we'll try and finish the game. I don't remember exactly how long it'll be. Part of me is wondering if maybe to like refresh my memory, if I should actually literally play all the way through without like skipping, you know? Would that be interesting? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So maybe next Tuesday. Oh. Now we're watching the opening, I guess. Next Tuesday, we'll come back and try to finish 999. We'll see how long it takes. Have I actually shown this opening? I think I did. I think I did show this opening before. It's fine. Yeah, I think that'll be it for me. And I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Let me remember how to do things. Okay, here we go. Bye.